SMT Nation, we back. Nation, I want to talk about 5G home internet today, and actually I just generally want to talk about, the home broadband situation within the industry and where it's going and what the current trends are. As far as we can tell with respect to home internet, when it comes to the hierarchy of services, fiber's number one, cable's generally viewed as number two with respect to the technology of it, right? Cable has its own issues with explosive pricing, customer care issues, and whatever else other problems. They have a bad reputation with customers and so on, such as. But the most important trend is that fixed wireless access 5G home internet is literally on fire. T-Mobile and Verizon are the fastest growing ISPs in the country, and it's not even close. And their NPS scores are also highest in the industry as well. Most notably, and what I'm going to discuss in this video, is how Verizon is the highest scoring NPS service within the industry, and they just raised pricing. So let's talk about it here in this video. The Verizon 5G home internet page I'll put for you guys as a placeholder. If you guys want to check out their plans and check out their services, maybe you can put in your address, see if you qualify for it. It might be something worth your considerations. I'll put that link in the description. And ways to support the SMT. If you find value in the content we create in our videos, you can support us as well. Those links are in the description. All right, so Verizon literally in the last quarter has increased the price on their 5G home internet services. They went from $25 a month to $35 a month. Now, in and of itself, that is not a dramatic price increase, right? It is a $10 price increase on an already very heavily discounted price, in my opinion. Selling home internet for $25 a month is an absolute bargain. As long as the service is reliable, that is a great price point. I would argue that at $35 a month, it is still a very attractive price point. Now, in order to get that price, you do have to also have their wireless plans. So that's an important caveat. If you don't have their wireless plans, the pricing goes over $50. So that's an important thing to kind of consider, right? It probably prices it closer to $50 or even $60 depending on the plan type. They got different tiers. But I think what's most notable, and it's the reason why I wanted to make this video, is that Verizon raised pricing and their NPS scores are the best in the industry. And I remember a quote from the most recent, I think either an earnings report, or it was like a investor conference prior to that report. Verizon indicated that there was going to be price action on the 5G home internet. They said that they were going to raise the price. We reported it here. They did it, but the NPS scores continue to improve. Now, what's going to cause NPS scores to get better? Services improvement, right? So, it's the networking piece. It's the gateways. It's the price point. It's the total package. NPS scores indicate that customers are satisfied and would recommend the service to someone and say, this is good and it's worth paying for. So Verizon raised pricing while also raising their NPS scores, which seems like that would be counterintuitive. Like, that doesn't seem like it would make sense. Wouldn't that cause NPS to go down if customer has to pay more for it? But the truth is that the service is worth paying for. The service is reliable, and that's why the NPS scores are best in industry. I think the NPS scores, if I remember correctly, were in the 40s for Verizon 5G home internet. T-Mobile's was in the low 30s. Hell, AT&T was at 11 with Internet Air. So the moral of the story and the purpose of this video was to indicate that Verizon is doing a good job with the 5G home internet service. I don't think anybody can argue that. I think the data suggests it. I think between the price point coming in at an attractive price, along with the services that people are getting and the reliability of it, is why the NPS scores are so high. And folks, I expect those NPS scores to continue to improve as Verizon still continues to lay down the foundation of their modernization process and their network. Their network's not done. The base of their 5G internet, the base of their 5G network is not complete. They've got most of the big cities done. They've got a lot of the suburban areas starting to get covered in C-band, but they're still about a year away from it really being call it national, right? Across most counties, across most cities, even small towns in the US. And until that point, until all their assets are deployed, until their fiber circuits are upgraded across the country, until their tower sites are all modernized, they've hung all the radios and antennas for all their current frequencies, they're not done. Their NPS scores still have room to improve. And if I'm looking at this objectively, it's probably going to pace them ahead even further from their next best competitor, which is T-Mobile, who has told us already they're going CapEx light. They're going, they're not investing money into their 5G home internet. They invest into their mobile network, and extra capacity gets sold as 5G home internet. It's residual. It's deprioritized. There's no QCI. So that being said, I don't think the T-Mobile 5G home internet is going to experience much improvement to the NPS scores. If anything, they're most likely at risk of reducing or decreasing in NPS scores because of that lack of commitment to CapEx. I mean, we see it. They're planning to reduce their spend on their network. They're relaxing their CapEx. Sure, they're buying back shares. Sure, they're paying dividends to investors. But how does that help the network? And how does that help expand or deepen the service? And I think that's what's going to separate T-Mobile and Verizon with respect to networking and the 5G home internet piece. The NPS scores, it's proof is in the eating, right? I know some people say the proof is in the pudding. I think that's wrong, but yeah, it's pretty clear the NPS scores speak for themselves, and I don't expect that to change. Hopefully, AT&T can get their act together and improve. But this is pretty impressive. You raise pricing, and the NPS scores go up. They're doing something right over at Verizon, folks. Do you agree or disagree? Do you agree with the NPS scores? Are you surprised that the price increase and we still had the NPS score increase? It's wild, right? What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.